Hey everybody, it's ZeroTolerence55 bringing you my most anticipated and highest requested video yet. I know I've been gone for a while and I told everyone that I'd be making this video a week after my last one, but to be honest, things got crazy with school, finals, work. It's just everything hit me at once. So I put this on hold because I wanted to make sure this video was 100% right and got done correctly because this is the video where I'm going to finally explain the Knights of the Old Republic storyline. I'm continuing the story of Revan, focusing completely on that game. This is the third part in the Revan storyline videos I have been making, and it stands on its own if you just want to know about Knights of the Republic. But if you want the full story of Revan, be sure to watch part 1 here and part 2 here, and those links will be at the description, so you don't have to jump to them right now. Knights of the Old Republic was an RPG-style game where the player could make his or her own choices, including companion selection, light side and dark side affiliation, and so on. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going by the official canon storyline set up by LucasArts. That being said, please don't argue with me or say a certain person died here or a certain Jedi turned evil here, because like I said, there is a canon storyline, and even though what you may have played or may have seen may vary from the storyline, this is the official storyline set up by George Lucas, and that's what I'm following. There's a lot of info to cover in this video, and a lot of people have been waiting for it, so I'm just going to jump right in here. When we last left off, Revan had been taken prisoner by the Jedi and had his memory wiped. He was placed under the protective care of Jedi Knight Bastion due to the force bond created when she rescued him. With Revan's apparent death, Malak has assumed control of the Sith fleet and deemed himself the true Sith Lord of the galaxy. A year after Revan's apparent death, he was enlisted as a normal soldier in the Republic Army, going under an assumed name with no recollection of his past. He was stationed on the Ender Spire, which was under the command of Bastion. Since he believed Revan was dead, Malak had devoted all of his time in hunting Basila due to her battle meditation ability. Malak's fleet ambushed the Ender Spire above Terrace, waking a sleeping Revan who was on board. Revan fought his way through the ship as it was invaded by Sith soldiers with the assistance of Trask Olgo, another soldier who sacrificed himself to save Revan by delaying Malak's new apprentice, Darth Bandon. Revan made it to the escape pods along with a soldier named Cartho Nassi, and they managed to board the last escape pod and crash land on the surface of Terrace. During the crash, Revan was knocked unconscious, and Carth dragged him from the scene of the crash to safety. While unconscious, Revan began experiencing flashbacks through the force of his buried past, unbeknownst to him. When he awoke, Carth and he discovered that Basila had been captured by the Black Vulkar swoop gang on Terrace and was being offered as a prize in an upcoming race. Revan and Carth recruited help to free Basila, including working for the Black Vulkar's rival swoop gang, the Hidden Becks, enlisting the help of a young Twi'lek named Mission Viejo and her Wookiee friend Zalbar. Revan entered the swoop race himself and managed to win the tournament and Basila's freedom. Upon winning, Revan attracted the attention of Mandalorian mercenary Canderous Ordo, who approached Revan with an offer to steal the Ebon Hawk from criminal exchange lord Davik King and escape the blockade planet of Terrace. Revan and his companions were able to steal the bypass codes to the Sith blockade with the help of their newest companion, a droid named T3M4. Canderous Ordo brought Revan to the Crime Lord, pretending that Revan was a new recruit. While the Crime Lord ran a background check, Revan and his crew broke into the hangar to steal the Ebon Hawk. They were then confronted by the Crime Lord himself and the notorious bounty hunter Calo Nord. Meanwhile, up in orbit, Malak ordered Admiral Karath to bombard the planet and wipe it off the face of the galaxy, knowing that Basila was on planet. Revan and his group managed to escape in time with Calo Nord in pursuit, while the Crime Lord died during the bombardment. The group then made their way to the Jedi Enclave on Dantooine in order to regroup and figure out what their next step was. Basila met with the Jedi Council to discuss new developments in the war front. The Jedi Council requested an audience with Revan, surprising everyone since Revan was not a Jedi. The Council had decided that Revan was a special case and that he should be trained immediately, even though he was an adult, because he was such a strong being in the Force. Before he could begin training, however, the Council felt that he had to prove himself and prove that a strong connection to the Force still existed. The Council, knowing his true past, was wary because they could feel the power emulating off of Revan, but felt that it was unwild and untamed, and they feared that his inner Sith would return. While the Council debated, Revan and Basila shared a Force vision of Revan and Malak finding the first of the star maps on Dantooine. After this revelation, the Council decided that Revan should be trained and that he, together with Basila, could defeat Malak. Basila and Revan were tasked with finding the star map on Dantooine as Revan began his training, or retraining depending on how you look at it. Before he could become a Jedi, Revan had to complete 3 tests: his knowledge of the Jedi Code, he had to build his own lightsaber, and with those first 2 completed, he was instructed to find the source of dark side energy tainting the meditation grove on Dantooine. He did indeed find that source of dark side energy, a Kotor female Jedi named Juhani. In fact, this dark Jedi was a recruit of Revan while he was still a Sith Lord. Revan bested her in combat and decided to spare her life, hoping for a chance to redeem her. The council was pleased with his decision and let him know that he passed the final test, allowing him to become a member of the Jedi Order. He completed a number of other tasks while on Dantooine, including settling disputes between inhabitants, learning the history of the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War, and so on. Revan and Bastila made their way to the caves that they had seen in their visions, when they were stopped by a droid outside who inquired about the Star Forge and whether they were the builders or not. Revan and Bastila were confused, but ultimately proved themselves to the droid and pushed into the cave, finding the first star map that led the direction to the Star Forge, which was an automated weapons factory that Revan and Malak had used to supply their army, and which Malak was still using. This was only one of 5 maps that was needed to find the Star Forge, with the others being on Tatooine, Kashyyyk, Manon, and Korriban. So the Jedi Council tasked Bastila and Revan with finding these maps, hoping that Bastila could keep accessing the visions through Revan that would lead them to the Star Forge. Revan, Bastila, and their group traveled to the planets where the star maps were located, following in the footsteps Revan had taken years before with Malak at his side. During these travels, they acquired assassin droid HK-47 and recruited the help of self-exiled Jedi named Jolee Bindo. The crew found themselves hunted by bounty hunters and Sith as they continued their search and eventually had a showdown with Kylo Nord, with Revan besting him and killing him in combat on Tatooine. As the search continued, Revan and Bastila continued to grow closer and closer. However, Bastila feared their love and was afraid to face her feelings because of who Revan used to be. She resisted her feelings even though they continued to strengthen towards Revan. While looking for the last star map, Revan and his crew were captured by the Sith ship Leviathan, which was under the command of Admiral Karath, who was once Karth's mentor and also responsible for the attack that killed Karth's wife. As the Ebon Hawk was captured, Revan chose a person from the group to hide and come free them later. Revan, Bastila, and Karth were all put in force cages and interrogated by Admiral Karath. Karth vowed revenge against Karath, and the Admiral realized throughout torture that neither Karth nor Revan knew who Revan actually was. He left the pleasure of divulging the truth to Malak, who was on his way to their location. Karath figured out that Revan cared for Shan, so he made her suffer anytime she refused to answer a question. It was also revealed during this time that following Revan's training on Dantooine, Malak had arrived and wiped out the Jedi Enclave on Dantooine. Karath returned to the bridge and awaited the arrival of Malak, and while he was gone, the crew member Revan had chosen to help them escape showed up and let them out. They came up with a plan to go to the bridge, disable the tractor beam, holding the Ebon Hawk in place, and escape. Revan, Bastila, and Karth were the ones to go to the bridge, Revan and Bastila being Jedi, and Karth wanting revenge on Karath for the death of his wife. They took the bridge, killing all Sith troopers and leaving Admiral Karath mortally wounded. Karath proceeded to tell Karth of Revan's true identity without anyone overhearing. Karth was furious at Bastila from hiding it from everyone, but she urged him to keep it a secret, saying that she would explain everything to the both of them after they escaped. At this point, Malak arrived on the Leviathan and cut them off as they made their way back to the Ebon Hawk. Malak saw an opportunity and took it, revealing Revan's true nature and true past to him in an effort to distract him. Revan refused to believe it, thinking it a lie, until Bastila confirmed it, explaining the story of her capturing him and wanting to give him a second chance, which led to the Jedi wiping his memory. Despite his anger and bewilderment at the actions of the Jedi, Revan refused to return to the dark side. At this point in the game, it was the big turning point because in the game, you did not know who Revan truly was, so this was the big holy crap moment of the game. Following this debate between Revan's group and Malak, Malak created a stasis field around Bastila and Karth and prepared to fight his former master. The two fought, and even though Revan proved himself as a capable swordsman, Malak caught him off guard by using force stasis on him. Before he could finish Revan off, Bastila decided to sacrifice herself in order for Revan and Karth to escape. Revan and Karth made their way back to the Ebon Hawk. Upon escaping, Revan revealed to his entire crew who he really was. All of his companions accepted this news, either dealing with it to meet a common goal or accepting this new changed Revan. Meanwhile, Revan was also dealing with not only this revelation, but the loss of the woman he loved. Jolly Bindo proceeded to tell Revan that he believed Malak would not kill Bastila, but instead break her will and turn her to the dark side to use her against the Republic. They decided the best course of action was to continue their journey to find the last star map. Upon finding the final star map, Revan and his allies made it to the Rakata system. Rakata, my bad. Like his previous visit, the ship was forced to crash land because of the disruptor field. Once again, Revan came in contact with the elders who reminded Revan about his betrayal of the promise he had made last time. After completing main tasks for the elder Rakata, Revan, Juhani, and Jolly Bindo entered the Temple of the Ancients to gain access to the Starforge. While there, Revan was forced to confront Bastila, who had fallen to the dark side after a week of non-stop torture at the hands of Malak. She begged him to return to the dark side and replace Malak as her teacher, assuming his old role as the Dark Lord of the Sith. Revan chose the path of the Jedi, enraging Bastila and causing her to retreat to the Starforge. Revan and his crew repaired the Ibn Hawk and pursued Bastila to the Starforge just as a Republic fleet appeared in system to help stop Malak. Aboard the Starforge, Revan displayed his restored force power, single-handedly wiping out the defenses and Dark Jedi Malak had left guarding it. He once again confronted Bastila, with it escalating to lightsaber combat. Although Bastila was strong in the Force and drawed upon its energy heavily, she could not best Revan in combat. He defeated her and she begged him to kill her. He refused, and much like she had done to him, he gave her a second chance. He convinced her to return to the light side of the Force, which she did, and used her battle meditation to aid the Republic fleet engaged in combat outside the Starforge. Revan then moved on to confront his old apprentice Malak. He told Malak that if he surrendered, the Jedi might show him mercy. Malak laughed at Revan and said that getting his memory right wasn't an acceptable form of mercy and that he would rather die. Malak realized Revan was stronger now than he ever was and enticed him to join him and once again rule the Sith Empire. Revan in turn told him that he would never return to the dark side. The two of them engaged in each other in a lightsaber duel, with the winner determining the fate of the galaxy. During the confrontation, Malak told Revan that he could not be defeated due to the fact that he had the bodies of the Jedi from the Jedi Enclave aboard the Starforge, and that he had stopped them from becoming one with the Force and moving on, and was actually feeding off their Force energy. Revan proceeded to free as many of the prisoners as he could, letting them die and become one with the Force. With Malak's power weakening, Revan pushed the attack and at last defeated Malak. While mortally wounded, Malak asked what would have happened if their roles had been reversed, or if Revan had never led him down the dark path. Revan apologized to his old friend for leading him down it, but told him that it was his choice to stay on that road once Revan was gone. Malak accepted his apology and realized it was no one's fault but his own as he lay there and died. Revan and his crew received a hero's welcome in the Republic and were awarded the Cross of Glory. Revan received his old title of Jedi Knight, and the Council proclaimed him the Prodigal Knight, Hero of the Galaxy. The award ceremony was broadcasted across the galaxy, and everyone lived happily ever after. This is where Knights of the Republic ends. This is not where Revan's story ends. I have another video coming out. It's going to be part 4 of Revan's story. I think it might be the last part, depending on how long I make it. I also have, which is probably going to be my next video, Knights of the Old Republic 2 coming out, because I have a lot of people who have been asking about who Mitra Surik is, all the events, Darth Sion, Darth Nihilus, everything. So that's all coming. Stay tuned, subscribe if you enjoyed, follow me on Twitter at ZeroTolerance55. Also, me and my buddy started up a podcast, so if you want to check that out, it's I Have Spoken, ! Podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on Podbean, I'll put the link in the description. And one more plug, why the hell not? It's a long video, and I'll give it to you if you guys are all still here. My buddy Ian restarted his YouTube channel. He does a lot of commentaries. He's a funny guy, just kind of chill. You can find him at youtube.com/Athena Project. So, thank you for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hoped it was up to what everyone wanted. It took a long time for me to get this one done, but I think overall I am very happy with it. So, thanks for watching, and I will catch everyone later.